I've just wrapped up recording of the Pryda Pod for 2022 with some of our new content coming in 2023. I do owe a big thank you to everyone who came on, all of our listeners, all of our guests, and of course, everyone from the Pryda team that made this happen. This was a bit of an experiment for us. We're trying something new and I guess taking a bet on the curiosity and interest of the industry and learning a bit more about frame and truss and timber framing. And we were blown away by the interest that you showed. We have had hundreds of downloads of the episodes and had some really great comments along the way. To close out the year, I wanted to kind of recap the top 5 things that I learned through our episodes this year. Number 1 was a glimpse behind the curtain of the Pryda software process with Nikki Woodward. We really haven't dived this deep in public before, and it was fascinating to hear all the mechanics that go into developing a complex piece of software like Pryda Build Designer. Number 2 was the role of lightweight framing in mass timber buildings. We kind of think of mass timber construction as being separate from the world of frame and truss, but as Nick Hewson told us, lightweight framing actually has an important role to play in the cost effectiveness and practicality of these solutions. Number 3 was how to spot a low quality LVL. Hayden Slatter from ITI told us how to really look visually at a piece of LVL and just look at the thickness of the veneers and what that can actually reveal about the quality and the origin of that material. That's a tip that I'm going to be putting into practice almost day to day in my role. Number 4 was I really enjoyed the ideas coming from Matthew Lennox at Stormseal about what could it mean to construction if we could wrap and protect a timber frame so that trades could work inside and outside at the same time, and we could start the internal work before the roof and the cladding actually goes on. I just loved the new thinking that was coming in. And that was one of the great things about the Pryda Pod for me, was just challenging ways of building and thinking about what might be possible if we did things differently. Finally, I have to say this one, it was the impact of mold on our health. Our episode with Tim Law was by far the most popular one. Less popular was the part 2, where Tim really got to go wild with his best ideas for improving construction. If you haven't heard the follow-up, I really do recommend it. Finally, this was an experiment, as I mentioned, but a highly successful one. So we will definitely be back in 2023, starting in February. So we look forward to your company then. Thank you for your comments, your ideas, for subscribing and following the Pryda Pod, and I will talk to you again next year.